You join me at a tremendously exciting moment. It's Into Your Head, number 597 for Friday. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this cat puppet I have here. I have a cat puppet here. It's about time I've been meaning to do this for a while, to reveal my cat puppet to you. Unfortunately, I've been using it to mop up spilled coffee on my desk, so it's not quite the white-bellied, black and white cat that it's meant to be at the moment. But I have a washing machine, so we can sort that out in due course. But no, here's my cat puppet for you. Look, basically it's a full-sized hand puppet. I can put my thumb into its right paw and my little finger into its left paw, and I can make it do all sorts of stuff. Like, for example, this. There you go. You won't do that too much because we don't want to damage my equipment. That's not a vulgar, some sort of vulgar anachronymistic-ism. No, I literally don't want this puppet to damage my equipment, because if it does, by the very laws of puppetry, I will be directly responsible for its actions. I'm responsible for the actions of this puppet while it's under my control. Admittedly, someone else could take control of this puppet at any time, and then they'll be responsible for anything that's done then, although my security lapse will have to take some of the blame, and my security lapse is an inanimate concept, so I have to take the blame for anything that my security lapses do. So I think I'll put this puppet away for now. I don't think I'm quite ready for the responsibility. But there you go. There's the new Into Your Head cat puppet mascot. Probably, I don't know. It's been going on about it for several months now, since I fictionally murdered former Into Your Head junior announcer Glenn Acton. I've been talking about a replacement. That cat is going to be the replacement if I ever feel minded to have a replacement for Glenn. But until such time as we does, this is Into Your Head number 597. Hello. Cat called Frosty. There was a cat called Frosty the cat. Frosty the cat being her full name. But people decided, we'll abbreviate this now. We'll cut everything down because you don't want to be overusing words, especially the cat, because that's also the name of the species. If the name of the cat is the same as the name of the species, that's going to cause confusion, apparently, even to a species as advanced and sophisticated and experienced and educated and dominant as the human being, the Homo sapien human being. So no, he said, we're going to patronise these humans and we'll abbreviate it to Frosty. So Frosty the cat became known as Frosty. Frosty, what some people used to say, though, they'd say, if they were talking to someone else, they'd say, this is Frosty the cat. And they'd say, is that their name? Or is their name Frosty, a member of the cat species? And they'd say, no, this is Frosty the cat, that's its full name. She's also a cat, though, so I suppose in a way it's Frosty the cat. And then at that point, the other human being to whom they're talking would become confused, and that's when we realise there's more than one level of human being. Some are more advanced than others. Some are still basically monkeys. Some are as far advanced as the most intelligent aliens you could stumble across within 10 to 150 trillion light years from here, but some are only in the middle somewhere, some happy medium in between. Apparently being in the middle is a happy thing. Being in the medium, it's a happy medium, they like to say. Oh yes, be average and then you'll be happy. What if the average person is unhappy? Then by definition you're not going to be happy if you strive to be the average. What if 80% of the population population were evil, scum-killing murderers, and you were told, oh, just be a happy medium, go for being the medium. The only way you could get out of being unhappy then, or out of being a murderer, would be to explain to them the difference between the term medium and the term average in mathematics, in which case you'd be relying on them to be above average in terms of intelligence. Otherwise they're not going to understand, unless the average intelligence happens to be very high, in which case, what do you mean it's very high compared to what? Higher, the average person can't be higher than average, because if that's the case, then I suppose the average person could be above the median average. And I just realised that median is the mathematical term, not medium. So a happy medium as a phrase isn't a contradiction at all, because it's medium, not median. So I suppose that's okay. So forget I ever brought this up. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the thinking part of my brain, which thought it should just run a few checks as to the logic of this whole thing that's coming out of my mouth. Excuse my brain for questioning things. This isn't frigging Nazi Germany, you're allowed to question things, including yourself. You're allowed to question yourself. That's the whole idea of being human. We are free to question what we say. No, we're not. We're not questioning here to question what we say. You're talking crap, B. Indeed, I may well be thinking crap, or you may well think that I'm thinking crap, and I will fight to the death for your right to think so. Well, whose death are you going to fight for the right to? Because we're both the same person. If you're going to fight to the right for my death, just remember that that's going to affect you quite substantially. Well, that's your opinion, me. Indeed it is. It's my opinion, you. Don't you ever forget it. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, once upon a time there was a cat called Frosty the cat. Frosty the cat was a cat, as is obvious from its title, although not necessarily. Might have been named Frosty the cat. And this isn't written down, so it mightn't even be Descartes, the words that you're familiar with. It could be Frosty Descartes. The French word is a French word, Decarte. Maybe that's what I'm saying and just not pronouncing it very well. So it could be Frosty Descartes. I don't know. In this particular instance, though, it's not. It's Frosty the cat. Anyway, one day Frosty was out and about in the big mad crazy world in which we live in, as Guns N' Roses say, in this world in which we live in, then the live and let die, originally, of course, a Paul McCartney song. Or was it? No, it was Paul whoever did live and let die, Anyway, I'm more familiar with the Guns N' Roses version because I'm younger than you. I wasn't around in the 1960s when Paul McCartney was going around going, oh, love me do, you know I love you. I'll always be true until I'm dead. Of course, he's still alive. So that's good for you, Paul McCartney. You're still alive and well and getting old and cranky. That's irrelevant, though. The point is, the cat was going around. Frosty the cat was going around about her normal everyday business. It's a business in terms of it's her livelihood. She thinks, so of course she's wrong in that because she's a domesticated cat. She gets all her food handed to her on a plate, quite literally, so there's no need for her to be out hunting. But it's all instinct, so still spends her day hunting anyway. She goes chasing after birds and mice and rabbits, sometimes catches them and sometimes brings them home and plays with them, and then gets distracted by the bowl of proper packaged cat food that's laid out for her, and then she thinks, what am I doing? What is the point of am I wasting wasting my life. I'm wasting my life away, frittering it away and killing animals that I don't need to kill, badgering badgers that could probably give me disease. Can you get diseases from badgers? I think you probably can, because I remember I used to work in the Department of Agriculture, and there was a fella in charge of the badger culling or something, because there was some disease that they caused. I think it was a disease they caused to other animals. I can't remember the exact details, possibly because I never knew them. I never asked. Wasn't my department. Just happened to be on the same floor. Apparently he was very good at his job, though. The badger project, as I call it, because I can't remember his exact name, was considered remarkably successful, and this fellow was looked up to, but that's not really relevant to Frosty the cat. I didn't even know Frosty the cat back in these days. I didn't even have a cat in those days, in fact, and the Frosty the cat in this story is not even the same Frosty the cat that I own. It's a fictional cat of the same name that I've made up, so let's not get our lines crossed here. Let's not. I guess if this was a 1930s style telephone exchange operated by women who weren't allowed to go off to war, and they're sitting there in a little exchange hall plugging people into each other, and we got our lines crossed, that could cause all sorts of problems. If Hitler rings up and says, "Hello, can you put me through to the Jews, please?" and you accidentally put them through to someone else, that could change the course of history completely. Although, why would Hitler have a line into there? Presumably because, you automatically assumed, because I was talking about war, you automatically assumed that this telephone exchange is on the goodie side. I never said it was. As it happens, it is, though. But this is all rhetorical anyway. This is a story about a cat called Frosty the cat. And frankly, I don't know where it's going. I'm going to stop for a breather now. Monkey nuts, that's what they call them. That's not what Frosty the cat Descartes called him, though. Frosty the cat Descartes didn't even enter into her realm, into her radius, or into her, what do you call that thing? Not her radius, her radar, her metaphorical radar. Didn't even know us monkey nuts. Cats don't need to know us monkey nuts. A cat could walk over a whole tray of monkey nuts without her having any impact on them, good, bad, or indifferent. They'll just think, oh, that's an interesting bit of ground there. Doesn't smell like anything relevant to me, though. Doesn't smell like danger either, so I can just ignore it and walk over it as I would a box on the floor after first checking that it was a safe enough structure to step onto. So she'd probably test the monkey nuts with one paw first, just to see that they're stable, but she wouldn't think, oh, I'll test these monkey nuts. No, she'll just think, I'll just put my foot forward here and check what this next piece of ground that I'm going to walk over is like first. Doesn't even enter into, that could be one big solid mass of single monkey nut, and she wouldn't notice the difference. Or it could be 10 million tiny miniature monkey nuts, wouldn't notice the difference, wouldn't matter. One man's monkey nut is another species' doesn't give a flying fuck, because it has no effect. And you may think that's selfish as a cat to not notice, but that's the way most animals are designed. It's all about instinct. It's all about drawing their attention to anything that affects their world and ignoring anything that doesn't, because that's a waste of brain capacity in a small animal. And the only reason we humans notice the monkey nut is because back in the old days, before we had monkey nut factories, we used to have to go and hunt down a monkey nut and seek it out. So when we come across a monkey nut, we think, oh, our subconscious instinct thinks, oh, that's food. Let's stop and pick that up. Sniff it and see if it's poisonous. Does that work? That doesn't work anymore because we started picking up poisonous mushrooms and using them for recreational purposes. So our instincts are confused now because of what our conscious selves do with these things. We think, oh, my instinct wants me to not pick this up because it might be harmful to my brain, but my conscious self says, this might be harmful to my brain. Fucking cool. Let's slip that into my pocket and make damn sure I ingest it before I go through security at the airport. Not in a plastic baggie either, because they probably detect that sort of thing now. No, I'll have to use it. I'll bring just enough for my personal use to keep me going on the plane, and then I'll make damn sure to Christ as hell. No, I won't. I'm getting paranoid now. That's probably the mushrooms kicking in. That's what you'll think. Oh, that reminds me, I have to get mushrooms tomorrow when I go out. Only to saying that now because I was intending to record this show tomorrow, but I'm starting it now a day early. And when I was making this show tomorrow morning, I knew that after I record this, I would have to go out and buy mushrooms for tomorrow's dinner. So it's probably a bit premature now. Hopefully I'll listen back to this in the morning as I put the finishing touches to this episode, and I'll think, oh, that reminds me. When I say there that I have to get mushrooms, that reminds me that I have to get mushrooms. Hopefully now, by having that thought just now, that's created a memory nerve path between the word mushroom and the concept of buying mushrooms tomorrow in my head, and that's how memories are created. Neural pathways are connected to create concepts inside your brain, or that's what the scientists would have you believe anyway. Every memory is a pathway, and by remembering it over and over, you're reinforcing that pathway. Unlike in the real world, when you walk over a pathway, every time you walk over it, you're eroding it a little. But no, with memories, it's different. You're reinforcing that memory by walking over it again and again. Absolutely fucking ridiculous if you ask me. But I suppose in a way it makes sense. In a way, I begrudgingly admit that in a way it probably makes sense to somebody, whoever created this thing in which my mind resides. What is this thing in which my mind resides? I don't know. It's probably a brain of some sort. But beyond that, what is it? What are we? I don't know. What are you? You're one of us and I'm one of you. Apart from that, no, I don't know what we are. 597 episodes of Into Your Head almost done, and I still don't know what we are. And if that doesn't tell you anything, what it doesn't tell you is that this is a fucking complicated issue that you can't just sort out just by yapping away hyped up on caffeine every couple of days for 6 years. No, it's more complicated than that, and that's why we have the likes of these scientists who go out and I tell you, when they stumble across some monkey nuts on the path, they don't ignore them. No, you've got a bit of natural curiosity, and it's not out of instinct, it's not out of self-preservation. They have proper curiosity about the world. They like to say curiosity killed the cat. No, it didn't. The cat is still there, alive and well. It's walked over those mushrooms, probably left a scent on it, and a scientist comes along and smells Frosty the cat and thinks, these monkey nuts, or whatever they are, they smell like cat piss. I wonder what that's about. I'm going to take a sample and bring them back to my lab. Maybe we'll find out something about the human brain from this. I'll tell you, that's why we've got nowhere. We don't know anything about the human brain because these scientists are too busy getting distracted every time a cat pisses on some monkey nuts. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Connie's mole chocked into your head. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, Christ, that's very profound. My brain is about to explode. Well, to help your brain relax for a while, take a break now and go and do some shopping. Do you shop on Amazon? You probably do. Well, every time you shop on Amazon, you can help this show without costing you a single cent extra. Just Instead of going directly to Amazon, go to intoyourhead.com and click through one of my Amazon links to Amazon.com or Amazon UK or Amazon Canada, and then go ahead through to Amazon, and wherever you buy, Into Your Head makes a commission, doesn't cost you anything extra, you pay the same prices to the same Amazon. There's also other affiliates there, like prescription spectacles that you can buy online, an energy drink that's got no caffeine in it called, what's that called? I can never remember. It's called something or other. And there's a couple of pet supplies affiliates too, one in the UK and one in North America. There's all sorts of other stuff. The usual Audible thing that you've already got from Adam Carolla, but if you haven't, you can go to intoyourhead.com/offers to sign up for a free audiobook download. What else? Loads of other stuff. You can also leave a tip, intoyourhead.com/tip jar, if you just want to help directly. Anyway, on with the show. Frosty the cat, Descartes, continued along her journey. Wasn't really a journey as such. She was just wandering around, following her instincts. She just walked over a very unusual piece of ground. Nothing that affected her though, so she pretty much ignored it. But she could hear behind her the sounds of a scientist's ambulance arriving. A scientist ambulance is it's not really an emergency ambulance, but it's basically an ambulance chaser of the science world. It doesn't chase ambulances, but it turns up on the scene wherever anything unusual that needs scientific investigation occurs. A bit like on Fringe, the TV show, except out in the real world. The scientists, they go around in these vans looking for things to study. They'll see things like monkey nuts lying around on the ground, and they'll think, Christ, what's this? We have to look into this. This needs looking into. We can't rely on the cat population to deal with this. They'll deal with mice, all right, and they'll deal with rogue birds and rabbits, but they're not going to deal with the monkey nuts. The monkey nuts are down to us. As the Milky Bar kid used to say in the ads, the Milky Bars are on me. The solution to monkey nuts and their impact on the world of science are down to us. They're on us. It's our responsibility. We have to be able to hand out explanations about monkey nuts should it ever come down to that. If we ever get to a point in civilization one day when people think, this is great, we've got to a point where we've got iPhones inside our heads. We don't have to work because our lawnmower does all the work for everyone, and we've got instant food that comes out of our mouths into our other mouths automatically. But we still haven't solved this monkey nut issue. Scientists, it's over to you. Then we have to be ready. When that happens, we have to be ready with a solution, or a solution to the lack of solution issue. We'll have to explain, what are we going to do about this lack of monkey nut solution? You can make a solution out of pretty much anything. A solution is just a mixture. You just get a cauldron and you mix stuff up, like monkey nut oils and all the sorts of things, and just stir them together in a cauldron. But only a scientist should do that, because when you stir things together in a cauldron, or actually, now that you mention it, we probably shouldn't call it a cauldron, because that has negative implications. When people say here cauldron, they think evil. So no, we'll call it a pipette or something, or we'll call it a science chemistry lab bowl. Anyway, we'll mix this solution together, but we'll have to mix it in such a way that it won't kill everybody. Probably shouldn't kill anybody, although one or two people can die in the name of science, and that's fine. Back in the old days when they used to build bridges across huge rivers and valleys, you'd always expect one or two of the construction workers to die, so it's not too much to ask as we deal with the final scientific problem left with the world in the world, that one or two scientists die. Not too many people though, so we'll have to be careful. We'll proceed on tippy toes, as if walking across, as if we were a cat about to tread on some monkey nuts that it doesn't understand the true nature of, and it's just testing whether to walk on them. Except we have to be more studious than the cat. We have to actually look into these frigging monkey nuts and see what's going to happen. And I can tell you, when the world gets to that point, they'll be able to go on archive.org, hopefully a couple of 100 years from now, and do a search for Into Your Head, and they'll find I've put up several dozen episodes there for prosperity, and they'll be able to look into everything I've ever said about monkey nuts. And that, I can tell you, is why I've been uploading episodes of Into Your Head to archive.org, the Internet Archive. A Beginner's Guide to Hygiene by me, first published in 2000 and something. The word hygiene came into common parlance in the mid to late 1600s in Victorian Britain. Having not washed for several years, Queen Jean one day discovered that she could simply shed her layer of hardened dirt as if it were an old skin. The skin, being mostly made up of tiny living organisms that thrive on uncleanliness, stood up, looked at the Queen and said, "Hygiene." The phrase stuck, although, in order to avoid causing further embarrassment to the unclean monarch, the spelling was changed to Hygiene by order of the National Committee for New Words, headed by William Shakespeare. Nowadays, hygiene is automatically assumed by many to be inherently good, and those who do not follow the laws of cleanliness are shunned and treated as outcasts. However, if the pattern of recent years is anything to go by, toiletries such as spray deodorants and soaps made from our precious natural resource coal are going to become increasingly frowned upon because of the damage their use does to the environment. A new Environmentalists Against Cleanliness campaign has recently started, and its supporters are actively encouraging all responsible citizens to bring their used and unused soaps to a special uncycling centre where they can be converted back into coal and returned to Mother Earth. Food hygiene is set to become a major industry thanks to young 50-somethings with much disposable income. People who have had visitors over for dinner and who don't like the idea of using a fork or spoon after it has been in their guests' mouths are now bringing their kitchen cutlery and plates to special kitchen laundrettes where they are thoroughly cleaned. Some such establishments use a new dry cleaning system for paper plates. Studies have showed that the main reason people use these kitchen laundrettes is because their guest who used the cutlery was unwell and they were afraid that the visitor's cold sores or leprosy may be infectious. And that concludes today's lecture on A Beginner's Guide to Hygiene. There is no exam for this course. An oral assessment will apply instead. Please cooperate with Matchstick University medical staff during call-outs. Now that means nothing in the current context. This was originally published as part of my website, the matchstickcats.com University. Basically a spoof lecture. Absolutely. This is what I used to do before there was podcasts, you know. I'd lie in my bed with a laptop typing this crap. I didn't even used to drink much coffee or energy drinks while I was doing it, so it basically took the whole weekend to write this crap. Anyway, there we go. That's the show done for today, I think, is it? Pretty much it. What have we done? We've dealt with what's going to happen when we solved every scientific issue in the world except the monkey nuts. We figured out why cats tread lightly over monkey nuts without knowing what they're for or not caring. We sorted out the whole Paul McCartney getting old thing. We've done everything. It's all been done and dusted, and it's time to put a wrapper over this. It's time for me to close this show up and say we'll be back next Monday morning with a brand new episode. Visit intoyourhead.com/offers every time you want to shop on Amazon or anywhere else. Visit intoyourhead.com/tipjar every time you win the lottery. Visit intoyourhead.com/services every time you want to spend your money on ridiculous crap. What else? Visit intoyourhead.com/advertise when you want to advertise. Visit google.com when you want to search for something. Visit the toilet when you want to piss. Visit the local shop when you want a tin of tuna for your cats. Although preferably go to a supermarket and get it cheaper. Tuna is fucking expensive, and while I'm all for supporting the local corner shop, there's a recession on here, so get your fucking tuna from the supermarket if it's for the cats. What else was I going to say? I know that's about it. Email me at studio@intoyourhead.com. Follow me on Twitter at intoyourheadpod. Like the Into Your Head Facebook page, facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast. Find me on Google Plus, a big long address, whatever it's called. Do all that stuff. Anyway, good morning.
Sit, Muddy, sit. Good cat.